In this video, we're going to review solving equations with the distributive property. So if you remember, the distributive property means that we're going to send something to multiple terms within the parentheses using multiplication. Okay, so for our first example here, we are going to solve -2 times the whole quantity, so we have the open parentheses of 2x plus 5, close parentheses, is equal to 26. So two things that I notice here. One, I have an equal sign, so I know that I can drop down my line for my equation. And two, I notice that I have this -2 out in front of the parentheses, so that's what I'm going to distribute to both the 2x and the 5. So recognizing that formatting as the distributive property will help us with how to start these types of problems. So the first thing that we're going to do is distribute. So I'm going to multiply this -2 with a positive 2x to get a -4x. Then I'm going to multiply the -2 with the 5. Don't forget to distribute that to everything in the parentheses. And -2 times positive 5 gives us a -10. And that's equal to 26. Now we're ready to start solving. So now I have a two-step equation in which I can isolate the variables. So we have -4 being multiplied by x, and then we're subtracting 10. So working backwards, I'm going to undo the subtracting 10 first by adding 10 to both sides. Because remember, -10 plus 10 will cancel out. So we're left with -4x on the left. On the right, 26 plus 10 giving us 36. All right, and so now in our final step, we have this -4 being multiplied by x, so we can undo that multiplication with division on both sides. We're going to divide both sides by that -4. -4 divided by -4 will cancel out, leaving us with just x on the left-hand side, and 36 divided by -4, giving us -9. So our final answer here for x is -9. Now, as we get into these more complex equations, it's very important that you're checking your answers. So don't forget that we can check by rewriting, substituting, and simplifying. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the original equation. So -2, open parentheses, 2x plus 5, close parentheses, is equal to 26. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute. I'm going to take this -9 and I'm going to substitute in wherever I see an x. So I'm going to plug it in here for x, and I'm going to use parentheses around it because it's a negative. And I want to know, is that equal to 26? Now, again, we could totally use our calculators on that left-hand side, type it in exactly as we see it, but let's use our big, beautiful brains and practice some order of operations. So the first thing we want to do is P for parentheses. So looking inside my parentheses, I'm going to have this -2 times -9 and then plus 5. So again, within the parentheses, order of operations are telling us that we would multiply here first. So -2 times -9 giving us -18. Right, bringing everything else down. Now we're not done simplifying within the parentheses. We still have that addition here. So -18 plus 5 giving us -13. And then that's going to get multiplied by a -2. So for our final step here, we just have this multiplication left. -2 times -13, negative times a negative, giving us a positive 26. And so 26 equals 26. That does check out. All right, and so again, because there's so many steps in solving that there's a lot of room for possible, integer mistakes, that we definitely want to make sure that we're checking our answers. All right, for number 2, so we have 3 times the open parentheses, 2x minus 5, close parentheses, is equal to 15. So again, I see that equal sign, I can drop down my line, and I see the parentheses to know that this setup is telling us to distribute that 3 to both the 2x and the -5. So I'm going to multiply 3 with 2x to get 6x, and I'm going to multiply 3 with -5 to get a -15, and that is still equal to 15. All right, now we have our two-step equation. So again, we have 6 times x minus 15. Working backwards, I'm going to undo that -15 by adding 15 to both sides. Be very careful here. So we have 6x equals 15 plus 15, giving us 30. For our final step, we have this 6 getting multiplied with the x, so we can undo that multiplication with division to get x equals 5. Now again, we can check our answers here by going back to the original problem. I'm going to rewrite, substitute, and simplify. So rewriting 3 times 2x minus 5 is equal to 15. I'm going to substitute that x equals 5 into x here. And so I have 3 times 2 times 5 minus 5, close our parentheses again, and I want to know, is that equal to 15? All right, order of operations, again, working inside the parentheses first. I'm going to do that multiplication before subtraction. 2 times 5 giving us 10, bringing everything else down. In my next step, I'm still working inside the parentheses. I have 10 minus 5 to get 5, bringing everything else down. This is our last step because we only have one operation left, and that is multiplication. 3 times 5 giving us 15, which is equal to 15, and so that also will check out. So solving our equations, we're going to distribute first when we have that formatting, and then we're going to undo our constant by adding or subtracting, and undoing the coefficient by multiplying or dividing like we would with another two-step equation. We can check our answers, the same 3 steps: rewrite, substitute, simplify.